Hello everyone and welcome to episode 16 of the Clueless Internet podcast. I'm your host Alex. I'm joined once again, as usual, by my co-host Howard.
Hello.
I've gathered 4 facts, 4 fakes. Oh no, actually no, 6 fakes. Well, as far as you know, extra fakes. No, I've got 4 facts. I've got 3 real stories, 3 fake stories, which everyone's going to have to sort of use their detective skills to...
Oh, only me.
Sorry, only Howard can use the detective skills. You all... No one use detective skills at home. It's against the rules.
Put them away.
Just put them in a drawer. It's just Howard's the only one that can do it. Don't listen to him. Oh. Fuck him. And last but not least, 4 fuck-ups from people around the globe who come to their computers and write it into Reddit for me to grab. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it.
Sit down and shut up. Today, shut up. Shut up. Sit down, be quiet. Shut up.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to the first section of the podcast where we just test our mind a little bit. We get to know a few things before we lose a few brain cells in the following stories.
Let's put our big brains on.
Today I learned where I've gathered 4 facts from across one subreddit because I'm super lazy. The first fact that I have for you today, Howard and everyone at home, is today I learned about the humanity backup plan. Do you know that there's multiple versions? There's multiple versions of this. The backup plan of dogs.
It's just dogs. We just repopulate the earth with dogs. Super intelligent dogs.
With our brains.
Yes.
Nice. Well, there's a few kind of backup plans that we may know about. Sort of like, have you heard about the seed bank with the giant triangle windows? It looks pretty nice. So we've got that backup plan. I'm pretty sure we've got a lot of backups for vaccines and stuff like that. Yeah. In case everything goes to shit.
We've got certain places around the globe that have all the viruses you could ever want to unleash on the earth, where they do tests on them to make sure that, but then every now and again they get out.
Oh.
Have I stumbled blindly across a pebble?
Oh goodness. Now I'm infected. Well, this one is to in the case of a total collapse. Well, we'll get into that. This is a backup plan for humanity. So in June 1979, R.C. Christian, which was his pseudonym, so it wasn't his real name.
I thought it was going to be like a company or something then.
Well, he said that he or the people he was working for/with could not be named. So this is why he gave the fake identity.
Not because it was a secret, just it's really hard to pronounce.
It's something complete. As we'll get to later on in the story, I have a few names that I 100% know I will not be able to pronounce. This is one of them. R.C. Christian. Nailed it. Got him. And he said that all the documents relating to this had been destroyed for some reason. A few pranksters. He approached Elberton Granite Finishing Company, tasked them with building a monument, but not just any old monument, Howard. This was the guidelines for civilization as we knew it back then, 1979.
Yeah, but why do they need a monument?
Well, we'll get to that. Essentially, so I'm going to try and describe.
We should
the
work
shape.
on the plan. No, let's spend loads of money on a monument.
Yeah, hell yeah. So people
but the
can
plan,
look at
monument.
Monument. Just sticks his earphones in. Yes, monument. Back in 1979.
Monorail.
Well, but essentially the shape is take a straw, go up, and then add sort of a quarter height of a cube onto the top of it. And then you know those 3-panel metal sheets that people use to sunbathe. Yeah. Put one of them against each of the faces of the square, so it's like at the bottom. So it's a long.
So it kind of looks like a little stage on a...
Yeah, like on a pointy out rocks. Yeah. But then just take out the middle pieces of those, and then you have the monument. That's essentially what it's like. It's like pieces,
the monument.
It's like pieces of marble coming out of each corner of the rock at the top of this pole essentially. And so that is the shape. I hope I did a good visualization of that for you.
Terrible.
It's
I have no
really
idea,
important.
No idea what it looks like.
So when they
That was
built it, when they built it, they had a tablet with them that said, "Let these be guide stones to the age of reason." But I'm not sure where that is on the monument, or whether it's still on the monument, or that was just there when they took it there.
Something someone said once.
Yeah, something someone said once. Yeah, and basically it has all these. It's like commandments essentially for civilization as we know it, and they were engraved on the multiple sides of the marble or granite. Sorry, not marble. And these languages include English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. So, on each side.
Yeah.
On each side.
And they all roughly translated to "Don't touch my shit."
Yeah, but just don't steal things.
Leave my shit. Stop it.
Who are you, Dave?
Ah.
And then it had on. So imagine on the faces of the quarter cube on the top.
Yeah.
They had the names of ancient languages on them. So Babylonian cuneiform? Not sure.
Sounds about right.
Cuneiform. Classical Greek. Classical Greek.
Oh dear.
Sanskrit. And Egyptian hieroglyphics on them. So, here are the 10 guidelines for humanity. Number 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature.
Fuck. Well, we might have gone a bit over.
So we've already hit one strike.
Well, but when he created these, surely we were already way over.
I would have thought we would have been at 1 billion by then.
When was
1979?
Yeah, wasn't there still wasn't that like the times of like where we were still like 4, 5 billion?
Maybe.
Isn't he a bit too late? He's already too late on his first rule. It's like, yeah, too late for that.
Yeah.
Who are we going to kill then?
Yeah, just a lot of people in making this monument. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity.
Already too late. The 1800s had already happened, mate.
Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and
common
nations.
Sense.
Yeah. So protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. So we kind of got that.
I think we already had that then. He's just saying things we've already got. He's not a genius. He's just some guy who's gone, see all these things. If we just had a few more rules, like kill most of the population and leave only 500 million. So he's basically like taking all the points that are obvious and going, yeah, look at all these, and then going, but we just need to, get rid of half the planet, or more than half the planet, most of the planet.
Well, what I'm
because I'm such a fucking genius. Instead of trying to figure out ways of maybe dealing with a massive population that's got no, it's too late.
There's too many people on the road.
There's no way you're going to do it. Completely.
So the queues are so long.
He's not very open-minded. He's completely disregarding the idea of future space travel and stuff, and seeding like the human race out into the. No.
Well,
no.
Well, just wait to hear the next one. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. We're already there.
Yeah.
Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, and seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room
all these
for
things
nature.
were well-known things by the time he wasn't saying anything revolutionary.
Well, this is for if humanity goes extinct. I assume it's sort of if.
Then it's too late.
But then they come back.
No, if we've been extinct, it's too late.
Or just people who have lost their way in the apocalypse.
It's
some of them are very artsy parts.
It was a completely pointless monument, is what I'm saying.
So, these are designed to guide people if the world falls into some sort of apocalypse, which I already said. But that's not their only use.
He's talking as if he knows better than them.
But that's.
I know what happens in the. No, the people who survive the apocalypse are the people who are going to know better than him. They're going to. Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's a collection of people, as he said, the people who he worked for.
They're all fucking useless.
Then, but Howard, it has its own saving grace.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, there is also supposedly a time capsule underneath the monument.
Hey, what are we, 3?
But I can't confirm or deny that because no one knows when it was buried or when it's meant to be dug up. So no one's gonna dig it up.
What's the point? What is the point, Alex?
Howard, it's not the end.
It is.
It's not the end.
The end.
It's not the end, Howard. They can also be used as an astronomical calendar.
Just like an astronomical calendar can be used as an astronomical calendar.
Yes. So at noon, light shines through a small hole onto the day's date engraved into the monument. And lastly, Howard,
fuck these guys.
Lastly,
Fuck these guys and their rules. That didn't help humanity one fucking iota, did it? Other than to look pretty cool.
Well, lastly, there are some conspiracies around this.
It was built by aliens.
Some people believe that they were built by Satanists or New World Order. Because of certain guidelines like guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity.
No, that's just common sense, you bellends.
With some of the theorists,
if you want to keep the population relatively like, if you're trying to save a population from extinction, it's been the apocalypse. It's just common sense not to fucking fuck like bunnies. And like, oh no, we've suddenly got no resources. How could this happen? Oh right, the fucking like bunnies.
Well, because you hate it so much,
I detest this.
Some of the theorists have vandalized it.
It's probably because I'm a bit under the weather, but this has made me very angry.
With some of the theorists vandalizing it, they started to vandalize it. But if you want to visit it yourself,
I don't.
It's at 1031 Guidestones Road, Elberton, Georgia, 30635, United States.
Now we've told you where it is, you can avoid it.
Yeah, or go to it.
No.
And do what people are about to do in our next fact. Today I learned about the ashes of Disney World. Any thoughts on that title thus far?
Ashes of Disney World. So is this people who have been cremated after they died? I don't know. What?
Well,
because as far as I'm aware, Disney World's still there.
Yeah, probably.
It's not in ashes yet.
We've spoken about Disney World before. We've spoken about Disney in general before in episode 3 when we talked about it was a black market, wasn't it? The black market of Disney, where the rich mums did something. So go and listen to that episode.
They certainly did something.
They did something to Disney World. So yeah, if you want to go listen to that, I won't spoil it because it's a good listen. It's a good story. Please listen to the episode. Today we're talking about taking loved ones to Disney World / Disneyland and scattering them all over the place.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about those kind of
ashes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just once or twice this happens though.
Isn't it against the rules to do that? Don't you have to do it sneakily? Yeah, I thought so.
These people are spreading ashes around Disney World / Disneyland on a monthly basis. Like they're going,
they're killing people just to spread the ashes.
It's Tuesday. We might as well take Derek down. It was his favourite place. He went twice, and then he went bankrupt after going the second time because it's really expensive.
Because the new Star Wars exhibit had opened.
Yeah, and he fought too hard, bless him.
I love Star Wars, but nothing could make me want to go to that new Star Wars.
It does look pretty awesome.
It's just a capitalist wet dream. Hello, Neelix. Thank you.
All right, where was I?
I don't know.
Fuck you. I don't know.
Oh, God.
So, essentially, this is happening so much, and it's so bad that they had to make themselves a special code for when it happens. It's called HEPA cleanup, or HEPA, or HEPA, HEPA.
HEPA.
It essentially stands for high efficiency particle air.
Oh,
it's reference to the
that
filter.
sounds dangerous.
Well, it's reference to like the filter required in a vacuum for cleaning up very small particles, like people.
Go on.
So one custodian, I think custodian just means like janitor, but it's just a nicer word.
It's slightly higher than janitor. You do have to actually, like, if you're the custodian, you would maintain and arrange all the things for that kind of building.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you're the custodian of that building and something went wrong with whatever, you'd be the person who called. Generally, it's for buildings that aren't manned a lot.
Well, my apologies. A custodian who spoke to the Journal said, current and former custodians at Disney parks say identifying and vacuuming up human ashes is a signature and secret part of working at the happiest place on earth, with a gun to the side of his head while he's smiling intently. It is grisly work for them, but a cathartic release for the bereaved, who say treating Disney parks as a final resting place is the ultimate tribute to adherent fans. Human ashes have been spread in flower beds, on bushes, on Magic Kingdom lawns, outside the park gates, and during firework displays. That way they can blend in.
Oh.
On Pirates of the Caribbean, so that way they can blend in. And in the moat underneath the flying elephants of the Dumbo ride. I was about to say Domino.
Somewhere where it's nice and dark, I assume, then.
Yeah, just somewhere where it's really hard to spot. Johnny Depp's upper lip. Most frequently of all, according to custodians and park workers, they've been dispersed throughout the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion probably has so much human ashes in it that it's not even
haunted.
funny. Yeah, it probably... We paid people to do this. We needed the actual ghost. What?
Can't beat real ghosts.
100% American ghosts.
Oh, that's not an American ghost.
Oh,
Kill it. Oh, wait. No.
oh God. Now he's a ghost. But surely... But you might be thinking, surely they have security measures for stopping ashes from getting in. Nope. People have said they just put them in prescription pill bottles, makeup compacts, and Ziploc bags.
The makeup one's a nice touch.
Yeah.
My dad's eyeliner.
You got... He's with me everywhere I go.
Oh.
Just starts dabbing it on her face.
That's not where you put eyeliner.
Well, it'd be in a compact, wouldn't it? So
Scribbling on her face.
yeah. I'm insane! So some of the people doing this said that it's all about not getting caught, essentially. That's the aim of the game.
Yeah.
Because they would just suck it up and kick you out. So this has been happening since 2007, 14 years ago. However, there was an incident in 2002 where a family asked for extra time on the Haunted Mansion ride, the creme de la creme of ash spreading territory, to pay their respects to the recently deceased 7-year-old, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Then one of the employees saw one of them splashing ashes all over the place, and yeah, so this could basically have been going on for 18 plus years. I assumed he sucked it up, he probably got a Hoover and the fuck. Well, that's what they have to do. That is it.
I thought the way you said it, I just imagined the guy just going, "Hey, no, no!"
Just sucking it up and spitting it back at them in the ride. Delicious. So essentially, moral of the story: don't spread your ashes at Disney World / Disneyland, because it's kind of gross. People are gonna touch other pieces of the ride. I don't want to take family members home with me of other families.
I know it's a touchy subject, but it's a bit. I know you want to be respectful, but being disrespectful to the other people at the park isn't very respectful. It's like, I don't really want to touch your dead child.
Yeah.
No offense.
No offense.
And you've just
to
articulated them across where I'm now breathing. Thanks.
They're with me always.
You couldn't have maybe done this just, somewhere that meant a lot to you personally, not commercially.
Yeah. Probably somewhere you
not
spent
where other
more
people
time.
share a lot of your airspace.
Probably where people spent more time than money. But to each their own.
No.
You do what you want, crazy kids.
No, not to each their own.
So, to each their own.
No. I refuse.
To each their own.
Ah.
And so my next fact, Howard, is and I did replace this one with a really depressing one that I was going to talk about before, but it was about a disease and it got really depressing. So I replaced it with something a lot less depressing. Today we learned about the Nazi stun gun. So,
yay!
Any thoughts on this stun gun? Have you heard anything about this?
No. I assume it was before we understood that technology, so it was probably just like a cattle prod.
Well, you'll be surprised. From a 1945 article in Life magazine, there was an article documenting a forgotten Nazi weapon plan. I've put weapon on the word doc, but I assure you it's a weapon. With credits going to some unnamed US Army experts for revealing this weapon. But you may be asking, Howard, you may have already asked this, But wasn't the stun gun made in 1983 with the
But
XR
Alex,
5000 model?
wasn't the stun gun made in 1983
With the XR 5000 model?
Yep.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That one.
Well, yes, but also no. This wasn't just any stun gun, Howard.
I am stunned.
This was the German Space Mirror stun gun. That's right, Howard. This stun gun consists of a large, slightly concave disc that is a mile in diameter that floats 22,300 miles above the equator.
Oh, so it wasn't something you could strap to your waist.
Not exactly.
This revolutionary space laser is what you need for your collection.
I can just imagine someone walking around with it clipped to the belt and it's just digging into the floor as they go along, just destroying hundreds of millions of dollars of buildings, just going, at least I'm protected. So, yeah, that's right, Howard. And it's fucking massive. Well,
it's in space. I should
yeah,
hope so.
it's fucking massive. And so the idea of this was that it would focus the rays of the sun onto enemy cities.
So not a taser.
And burn them to the ground.
So it's not a taser. It's more of a heat reflection
Death gun.
device.
A big space death gun.
Oh dear.
This concept was born of the mind of German scientist Hermann Oberth in 1923. According to NASA, this was meant to be for peaceful
I can assume
purposes, not
I can
processes.
guarantee you he spent his childhood just burning ants with a fucking magnifying glass, just going, one day. No, sorry.
I'll get you
One
all.
day.
I will get you all.
Everyone will know the name.
Hermann Oberth. Oh, I went a bit French.
Oberth.
Oberth. So it was. So I think if that theory is correct, that very highly rated theory, that Clueless Internet exclusive theory that he burnt ants, maybe he felt a bit bad for it and he just wanted to bring back for peaceful purposes. I have done my damage in this war.
I am
going French. My name is Armin. But then the Nazis stepped in. Like it was meant to be for lighting up ports and thawing frozen rivers. Essentially, it was just.
So it was supposed to be a really genius idea.
It was supposed to be a really genius idea that would not work, as we will find out. Well, it could work. Yeah, this could work. You may be onto something.
As long as it's not too cloudy, you're effectively just like giving an area more sunlight. As long as I suppose living things, but wouldn't appreciate it if it got out of
Too
control.
sunny. Yeah. They just forgot about it in the sky and it's just burning down London.
I've left the oven on. Not again. I've burnt half of Scandinavia.
Oh no. Yeah, but then the Nazis stepped in.
As they tend to do.
In around the 1930s and thought that was lame. My space mirror, Herman wrote,
This could be so much more useful.
It's like the hand mirrors that schoolboys use to flash circles on the sunlight on the ceiling of the classroom.
Only much more awesome.
A sudden beam flashed. A sudden beam flashed on the teacher's face may bring unpleasant reaction. So what? So that does sound evil. What? So no schematics survived, so people did what they do best and guessed how it would work in the Life article from 1945. They thought it would be in space pre-assembled, and people would live in the mirror, where people would breathe air produced by thousands of pumpkin plants and wear magnet shoes to combat the lack of gravity, and helmets that would be worn to stop people from bumping their head on the ceiling. Not the oxygen.
No, to stop them from bumping their head.
Yes, because the pumpkin scenes will sort them. 1945. Let's just remember, 1945. But our man Horman didn't give up.
Horman.
He tried to rally other countries to the idea for peaceful applications after the war. And in 1961, a fellow scientist suggesting building it 300 miles in diameter and terraforming the Earth and using materials from the moon to run down costs.
It's already terraformed with... What, do you mean terraformed deserts?
Maybe, or London.
I was going to say, because the planet's already there. We're good.
We did it.
You want to send that thing to Mars?
We did it. You do want to send this thing to Mars. Pre-assembled. 300 miles in diameter. Good luck with that. I'm sorry to inform you, this didn't quite pan out. So it's not up there. It's not a star. in the sky. And lastly, Werner von Braun. That is right, Neil. It's Werner von Braun.
You're very noisy today.
He's loving it. So, I don't know if you've heard the name of Werner von Braun before.
Yes.
His full name is, God rest my being
Eternal
for trying
soul.
to attempt this name, is Werner Magnus
Werner?
Maximilian
Werner
Freya
Magnus?
von Braun. I think it's Freya. Freya von Braun. That's his full
Von
name.
Braun, yeah.
So if
Oh,
you
you
want
got it right.
So if you want to Google him, there you go.
I don't.
He was a leading figure in the development of rocket technology in Germany and a pioneer of rocket and space technology in the United States. So he's a big up guy. Space-based weapons influenced by Horman's ideas. He wanted to recreate something similar, I suppose, saying, "If we do not wish them to wrest the control of space from us, it's time and high time we acted." So I think he may have been like using it for nefarious purposes. Or against aliens. We will never know unless someone wants to tell me the answer at podcast@cluelessinternet. And with that,
Sorry, Howard's not well.
Howard not function. So we're moving on to our next fact, and our final fact is today I learned about the determination to return. Now this is a bit of a vague title, so I'll just jump into it. So this is set in Hanover, New Hampshire, where an old resident used to feed an animal with birdseed and maple glazed donuts. That animal was called Mink. The bear.
Oh, not a mink then.
No, the bear.
Bear the mink.
Now sadly, rest in peace, the old man died. And so the food supply stopped, because he wasn't going up there with glazed donuts anymore, which probably wasn't very good for Mink's health. It's not good for ours. Which forced Mink to head further and further into town. Although they are delicious, I suppose.
Donuts.
I must find more. Because she was comfortable around humans, she would just roll right into town.
I was doing that like it was a man, sorry.
Donuts? They say no.
All
Just start mauling.
All bears speak like this. Even lady bears.
I am a bear. Give me the donut. You gonna eat that? I've turned into Scruffy.
I meant you. Are you gonna eat you?
And the people of the town loved her as well. It was not a one-way relationship. She was named after a natural area called Mink Brook near the town. "She's a beautiful bear. She's an amazing bear," said Hanover town manager.
She's only eaten 3 children.
Mwah. Perfect
Good
citizen,
bear.
Julia Griffin said. Anybody that likes animals was entranced by her, until she mauled them to death. Despite this outpouring of love for Mink, she didn't say that end bit. Despite the outpouring of love for Mink, some people were scared of her. You know, understandably.
It's a bear.
It's a big clause. Wildlife officials decided the bear needed to go. They planned on shooting her. But a local news organisation picked up the story and rounded up thousands of signatures to save Mink. Yay!
And they shot her into space.
We relocated her to the moon! So they dropped her off a year ago far north near the Canadian border. But this didn't stop her. You know, she immediately started to make her way back to Hanover.
Well, that was a nice holiday. I'm coming back.
What the fuck, dude? There's no Uber out here. Dick. So she was going 30 miles a day, said Ben Killam, a biologist. Ben Killam.
I'm a veterinarian, kill him.
Just kill him. Said Ben Killam, a biologist who had been tracking Mink's locations. If anything, we should get her into a triathlon. She crossed intersection 91 and the Connecticut River multiple times, clocking in thousands of miles, if you know where they are, intersection 91 and Connecticut River.
We'd put her in a triathlon if it wasn't for the health and safety of it having a bear.
It wasn't for her building of bridges out of bodies. So, the lead bear official for the state of New Hampshire...
It better be a bear. Sir, Mr. President.
Amazing! Front coming news!
But what are your policies?
So the lead bear official for the state of New Hampshire said he's never seen anything like it and checks her progress first thing every morning. Bears are known to be able to find their way back home, or at least they try to. That's why they thought killing her would be a more humane way than letting her go on this massive trek. She is...
well, why didn't you just create a little reserve for her somewhere nearby if she's going to be coming back?
Pen her in.
Well, you don't have to pen her in a tiny pen. Like, give her a good little whack of land somewhere. Like, clearly, if the bear came from somewhere nearby, they've clearly got an area they could reserve for her.
Put her on a farm.
Put her to work.
A farm. Yeah, she can drive a tractor, probably. Great job, Mink! That's just the sound of the mower going past. She's just going, yeah, just sticking a thumb up. Oh, how cool life could have been. To see how far she travelled and how thin she was last fall, we all felt like, oh boy, what have we done to this sow? Julia said. So essentially, male bears are called boars and female bears are called sows. Yeah. So if you needed to know that,
now you know so.
Now you know so. So on the go you go. They, however, left the public in Hanover in the dark. They didn't tell them anything. Like, the local bear officials did not relay any of the information until early this year, when a woman named Patricia Campbell spotted the bear outside of her home, less than 20 miles away from Hanover. Yeah!
She said, quote, "Ah!
She really is a trooper! Ah!
Also, ah!"
She took lots of photos of Mink. She was able to get a few snaps. And Mink was back in the news.
Is that a bear wearing a hat?
Damn, that's cool. Just he's really high on mushrooms. It's just a picture of a tree stump. Oh, it's a bear! If she comes back as a nuisance bear in Minkbrook corridor, Julia said, I don't know what more we can do. So wildlife officials don't have a plan for if she gets back into town. They just hope she lays low in the woods.
We'll do it on the day.
But I got a few rounds. She can't be that fast.
Oh God, she's that fast.
Oh God. She's like Sonic.
But like a bear.
That's just the sound of the car she's driving.
Where did she... Oh, right, the tractor.
Where did you get the tractor? Nice straw hat. Oh, so, I did look in the comments of the Reddit post, and this was posted this week, about 5 days ago. Blue_Fox on Reddit, sorry, said, local here. Mink was a problem because she was teaching her cubs about human food. When they relocated Mink, they didn't take her cubs with her.
I forgot.
For fear,
So you wonder why she fucking came back?
For fear she would continue teaching them humans are a source of food. Mink came back to Hanover trying to find her cubs.
Of course she did. The logic of these fucking people.
Exactly, and in doing so, became a nuisance bear. And
you made her a nuisance bear. It's your fault. You
didn't
humans.
say this anywhere in the article about the cubs or anything, because I would have definitely put that in.
This old dude who died, he was the one who started it, but it was a human issue from the beginning, not a bear issue.
He could have just told the dude to stop.
The guy could have just not done that,
or died earlier.
And the town could have pushed her away sooner, like at the beginning, like altered her behavior at the earliest possible conjuncture. Instead, they decided to entertain her as part of the town for a while, and then was like, oh, look, she's got too sassy, and then they got rid of it. It's like, no, you got too sassy with a bear, you
oh no,
idiots.
She's got past the designated bear zone. Kill it. So, and then you've got Lily Potter 542, who said, also a local. As far as the last update, since her return, she hasn't been eating as much food and also doesn't have cubs this year. So for the time being, they're letting her be. So you've crushed her soul and spirit, and now you're fine with her being there. Yeah. Great job, guys. Brilliant.
Well, the thing is, by putting her so far away, you altered her behaviour immediately because she had to immediately start to survive for herself anyway. So that already started to adjust her behaviour. You could have done that by just putting her in a sanctuary. Yeah. For a couple of...
She would have forgotten all about human
for a
food.
couple of years, and then essentially released her and her cubs back into the wild.
And now the story's got really depressing.
And you would have fixed the issue that you fucking started in the first place.
Nature's a cruel beast.
Sometimes the logic of these people is just like, I just put it really far away, then I can't see it.
Yeah, I won't see it for a year. That's cool. Sick of seeing that.
The fucking Harvey Weinstein method.
Just put it over there. Somewhere else. Cover it with a rag. Anyway, with that really depressing end to that story, I'm sorry, Mink. I really feel bad for you now. We'll move on to my favourite section of the podcast. Not to say that any of the others are less favourites. I love you all equally, my children. We're moving on to 3 real, 3 fake.
And 3 fake.
Alright, Howard and everyone at home. Welcome back to my favourite section of the podcast by far. 3 real, 3 fake.
3 fake.
Howard, are you ready to put your detective skills to the ultimate test?
I'm ready.
Gladiators on my first
Are
vessel.
you ready?
So, my first one is: detectives in Ohio discover underground counterfeit Kinder Egg factory in abandoned railway station.
Why would it be
In an empty space.
fake?
You want to say that's fake?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is: the Russian Orthodox Church thinks it might be time to stop blessing nukes.
True.
You want to say that was true? V loves them. 34-year-old physics teacher from Newcastle caught stealing fences from his neighbours for new alien defence fort.
True.
True. Drunk Celtic fan tries to have sex with taxi, court told.
Fake.
Fake.
Yeah.
Russian couple forced to pay $300 to remove government official from their driveway.
Real.
You want to say that one's real? And last but not least, as I scroll very far back up to the top of my document, blind man's vision returns after being hit by a car on a level crossing.
Oh, shit, that could be real, actually. I'm going to have to say fake, but that could be real.
You want to say that one's real? Okay, well, we'll start at the top. The blind man's vision coming back is real. So, sorry for that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because sometimes blindness, it's something to do. It's your connections in your brain, not your actual lens or your eye that's affected. Technically, these are the kind of people you can put into an experiment room, and you can go. You can smile, or you can frown, or you can pull a sad face, and you go, "What emotion am I pulling right now?" And they'll go, "I feel happiness. I feel sadness." Because their eyes are actually taking in the signals, but they're not getting to the part of the brain that then recreates that visual for you to see. But the rest of their brain is still analysing the input coming in, so they can very primal things like emotion and things like that can still be read, even though they can't physically see.
It's just got connecting to the final piece.
The final piece, which represents, because obviously what you see. You're not seeing what your eyes see. You're seeing what your eyes send to your brain.
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it's true.
Yeah,
it does. Sound
it's
quite
why
weird.
you can hallucinate, and other people can't then see those hallucinations, because it's a machination of your own brain, not of the actual universe.
Yeah. Well, with that one, the detectives in Ohio discovering the underground counterfeit Kinder Egg factory is actually fake. The Russian Orthodox Church thinks that it might be time to stop blessing nukes was real.
Yeah.
That one is a real.
Yay.
The 34-year-old physics teacher from Newcastle, who was caught stealing fences from his neighbours to build a alien defence fort, is fake.
Oh.
I'm afraid. I've said this many times before. As I've been writing some of these titles, I'm like, I wish this was
that
real.
one was purely 50-50. That could have easily happened.
The drunk Celtic fan who tried to have sex with a taxi is real.
Oh.
That one is a real story.
Oh dear.
He really tried. The Russian couple forced to pay $300 to remove government official from their driveway was fake.
Oh.
So sorry, Howard. No, that one's fake.
It sounded like proper Russian bureaucracy. That did.
Well, to me, it sounded like it was sort of like a toll thing, and they like dug into their driveway, and I was like, this is totally plausible. The government is that shit. But let's move on. Let's move on to our first fact. Or our first story.
Our first real.
And I wish I had a little jingle for this, but I'm about to butcher some names. I'm about to butcher some names. So, Janusz Goraj from Gorzał Wilkopski.
These are words.
Wilkolopowski. He had suffered an allergic reaction. This caused his retina in his eye to be damaged, and his left eye could only register sort of lights and shapes.
Yeah.
Which to me sounds normal, but because all I see is light and shapes.
No, well, he can't see any definition, so he sees...
It's sort of blurry.
It's probably just like he can see a light, and he can see that it's like... So if he could see a wall, it would kind of like a white painted wall. It would probably look like a big square blurry thing.
Yeah.
Square white blurry thing. So I'm assuming he could probably see... If he could see light, he could see colours. So he could probably determine between two separate objects, but...
Not very well.
But not know what those two objects are. He could probably be, that's where that thing ends.
Yeah.
And this thing begins.
Well, that was until one fateful day in 2018 when he was hit by a car on a zebra crossing. I fell on the car bonnet, hit my head, and then slipped and fell on the road, he said. He was taken to the Independent Public Provisional Hospital for hip surgery. At a certain age, such fractures do not heal so quickly.
Yeah.
So he had to be hospitalized. Hospital spokesman, rest in peace, my pronunciation, Agnieszka Wisniewska. I apologize in advance. Said. At that time, the doctors weren't concerned about his vision because of his injuries. Luckily, after a fortnight, most of his injuries had healed up just fine. Along with his eyesight, doctors were stunned by the development. But Janusz has refused to take part in further testing to determine what this was. So
they might break it again.
Yeah, I just put it back. So doctors will have to speculate how his recovery happened. His eyesight did improve within 2 weeks. We don't quite know what caused it. Maybe the mix of drugs he was taking during the time.
Yeah, because it said that because initially I thought this was going to be a problem with his neurons, like brain signals, but it sounds like no, there was actually something wrong with the actual physical eye. So maybe the bump knocked something that was out of place.
Well, it was either that, or she says it was maybe due to the medication.
The concoction of medication.
Agnieszka said. One of the theories for his recovery is large doses of anticoagulants.
There are a lot of
coagulants.
Mice and rats that suffer from blindness issues. I'm sure that you could maybe try and synthesize something from the medications they'd given him to try and cure some blindness in rats.
Well, apparently anticoagulants are more commonly known as blood thinners.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure they meant to do it. I think they probably didn't mean to restore his eyesight. But so that being mixed in with all the other medicines could have been a reason. So what did Janusz do after regaining his sight? He became a security guard at the hospital that treated him, so he can protect the people who changed his life forever. We don't know if he specifically asked for a job or if it's just a coincidence. But he's working here with us, Agnieszka said. So that's a nice end to that story.
That's
very
really nice.
Very cute. So next we'll move on to the Russian Orthodox Church, who thinks it might be time to stop blessing nukes.
Duh.
So the church has proposed that they should stop blessing these weapons of mass destruction. They do this with a little sprinkle of holy water on planes and ships, essentially. This is still seen as appropriate today, but they think that might need to change. Saying appropriate today, they say it's appropriate today to bless vehicles that are going to be transporting. I'll get into this a bit further on, but they can bless things that are going to transport the troops.
Bless you.
To protect
bless
them.
You. Good truck. Bless you.
Yes, blessing.
Very nice motorcycle. Bless
Bless.
motorcycle.
Bless. Very fast. Bless.
What is this smart car? Get out. You offend me.
Electric. Hell with you. I hate you.
Spit in your general direction.
A 5-liter car. Bless. Beautiful. Good for environment. Mwah. A bicycle.
Get out of here.
Hell. Take stick he's in. A tank with big exhaust.
Double bliss.
Beautiful.
This thing's gonna get to heaven.
Take me with you. I want to see it in action. Blessing is stopped. I'm going front line.
Now more bliss.
Triple bliss. So they published a document on the 3rd of February. We are going to get in trouble for that. Outlining the blessing of Orthodox Christians who protect the fatherland and carry out their military duty. People in Russia will ask the priest to bless things like cars, apartments, even Soyuz. I don't know. Soyuz.
The rockets that go up to
I'm
the
glad that you know that. Spaceships.
International Space Station.
They bless them.
Bliss rocket.
Bless.
Is going to see good.
Aliens will be destroyed. Bless. A big gun on spaceship. Double bless. So
Ultimate bliss to times infinity.
It's the priest trying to outdo each other. Triple billion bliss. Infinity times 2 bliss. Multifinity and influence super bliss. So they get these things blessed, hoping that this will give them divine protection. This too stretched over to the military after the fall of the Soviet Union, who frowned upon religious activity. We talked about this in a previous episode also. We talked about this in episode 9 with the removing of the Sunday and the sort of work week to try and stifle religious practices. Yeah. But once that fell, kush. It was kushti. They would start blessing troops, planes, ships, and all sorts of weapons from Kalashnikov rifles. Kalashnikov rifles. I'm glad you know all these. To nuclear capable Iskander ballistic missiles. Do you know? Is that right?
I think that sounds about right.
Noise. In the bag. The Russian Orthodox Church has long been favoured by Vladimir Putin and the Minister of Defense, who is actually overseeing the construction of a huge cathedral for Russia's army forces outside of Moscow. This will open on the 9th of May, if you want to have a little dabble. The 9th of May. Quadruple bliss. The 75th anniversary of the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany in the Second World War.
Nice.
There are multiple pictures online showing priests throwing holy water on soldiers on their way to battle, which pretty good pictures. It's just them with this sort of thing in the hand that has water in the cup.
Is that the little thing on the...
You're gonna have to elaborate.
Like on a chain kind of thing.
I think maybe some of them do have that, but that could probably get out of control and hurt someone.
Smacking people, bless you.
It's just like nunchuck, bless. If they get up, they are blessed. If they survive this, they're blessed.
God be with you.
Yes, broken leg, bless. No, I think it's just sort of they have a wooden handle with that end on it, and then
they shake it. Yeah,
they just
them,
douse them in it.
But anyway, gasoline.
Just lights a cigarette.
Fuck bless.
You. That's what. He has one that has water in, one that has gasoline. So he's like, "Bless to you, burn in hell,
blasphemer,
bless to you." And it's also there just in case one of them sets fire on accident, so he can just douse them out with a little bit of water. But anyway, back to the document.
Excuse me.
Well, anyway, back to the document, which states that blessing any type of weapons, the usage of which can inflict an indefinite number of deaths, including weapons with indiscriminate effects or weapons of mass destruction,
sounds like a game of D&D,
be removed from pastoral practice. Kind of. As I said earlier, they think blessing transport of soldiers, etc., would be appropriate, would still be appropriate, with a document stating, bless transport used by soldiers on land, water, and in air, to ask God to protect the men using them. And lastly, I thought I'd add a little bit of a twist. Since 2010, the military has included priests in its ranks, including an airborne unit which can deploy with mobile inflatable chapels.
Mobile priests.
We bring it to you. X gon' give it to you. Bless.
That's
they say inflatable. It's not inflatable.
I thought, well, especially American military and British military have always had priests as part of the rankings. Usually, usually they're like, especially if they're like Catholics, like for forgiveness and things like that.
People like to take their religion with them.
Yeah.
Well, these priests would parachute out with the equipment and stuff like that.
Parapriests.
They're parapriests. Oh,
Paraclergy.
I like it.
Is paraclergy
Oh god.
coming in to bless the world?
Coming in hot. So the church. So it says inflatable, but my instant reaction was like a blow up one, like a blow up castle.
It's just like prefab stuff that goes up quick.
It's like so the church looks like an old army trailer. It's khaki and uninteresting, essentially.
Yeah.
Except they have the onion-shaped spire on the top. You know,
Nice.
of the
Yeah.
what's the building? The really
The
famous-
Kremlin.
the Kremlin, the Gremlin. It's considered a life-sustaining module essentially because it's decked out with diesel power source, an air conditioning unit, and a motherfucking fridge.
Nice.
So, and it's bought over in a kit of parts. Essentially, it's bought over in probably a fucking massive box. In a similar fashion to the way that heavy vehicles and other large military vehicles are bought in, and it can also open up the sides. I don't know if I think it's in the film. I could be completely wrong. With what's the late actor now? Who was in Flubber?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. The film with the RV. Did you ever see that one?
Surprisingly enough, I don't think I have.
I think it's in that film where the RV, the sides sort of extend when you're parked. That's what happens with this module, and it makes a crucifix from above. They really went up and above for this one. And talk about people who have gone up and above. Let's move on to our final story.
Real truth.
The final news story of this time. Drunk Celtic fan tried to have sex with a taxi. Caught told. This is a story.
Well, I was going to say, assuming by the way they said tried, he'd failed. No, I came.
Yeah, I did it. I finished. What about you? But this is about 36-year-old David Bruce from Kirkcaldy, Scotland. Bruce.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Bruce was out celebrating. I'm not gonna do this.
No, keep going. It's
No.
great. No, keep going.
After Celtic won the Scottish Cup final to win the treble. So there are two types of trebles. You get, if you don't know football, there are the domestic trebles, which is you win the league title. We'll go by the English stuff. The Premier League trophy, the primary cup competition, which for us is the FA Cup, and one secondary competition, which is the EFL Cup or Carabao Cup. That's it,
Carabao
for us. Yeah, it's that energy drink Carabao. So they sponsor it, so they name it after them and stuff. Then you have the Continental Treble, which is the league title, Premier League again.
It sounds like a drunk person. It's trouble.
It's a competition. I get a cup, you get a cup. I down it and go and have sex with a taxi. So then they win the Primary Cup, FA Cup again, and then you win the Continental Cup, which is the UEFA Champions League Cup in Europe, where the best teams from Europe come together and battle it out to the death.
I was say I'm not much of a football fan, but when I was a kid, those were the things I watched: the UEFA and the World Cup, essentially.
Yeah,
it's kind of the done thing if you're British.
And as far as my research goes, the only teams that have done the Continental treble, I think, are Celtic, Ajax, PSV Eindhoven, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Bayern Munich. I think Barcelona's done it 3 times.
Yeah.
I think that's a Continental treble or the domestic treble. It's one of them, and they have done it a few times. In court, 63-year-old Kathleen Nisbet.
Hi, Mrs. Nisbet. Sitting here, darling.
Said she heard singing, but thought it was just the typical football stuff. That was a day Celtic won the treble, and I thought, somebody's happy out there. Then I heard banging and looked outside. There was a man singing at the top of his voice. She said he jumped on a taxi and simulated sex on the bonnet. He was making thrusting movements, and by this time
Six bomb, I'm the six bomb. And baby, I continue on. And I'm talking to the taxi, not you, love. Thank you very much.
Get out the way. Get out the way.
I can't see the exhaust.
I can't see myself in the windscreen.
It's the whole point.
I'm a sex bomb. So they said, and by this time his trousers were down. He was wandering about with his trousers at his ankles, and then approached a woman. A woman.
Oh, man.
He was staggering about and then started masturbating for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Eventually, he fell on somebody's path. So he was stopped eventually.
Just have a little lay down here.
Her husband, however, George Nilsbeth, said after heading back in and watching from upstairs,
George, get out here now. There's a man masturbating on the path.
I've got the binoculars.
Oh, that's the stuff. George!
Kathleen, get out. This is my time. He just goes out there and joins him. So after masturbating, George said, after heading back and watching it from upstairs, they saw him pissing up a fence. He then started rubbing his private parts up and down on the fence. It was as if he was trying to have sex with the fence, Kathleen added. So from good to worse, he threw himself in front of a minibus and started rubbing himself on it like he'd been doing with the fence, his common technique. His trousers fell down again.
The world is my bedroom.
Any holes are go, lads.
Even ones that aren't holes.
Just
look at this picket fence. It's beautiful.
Fucking hell, that Fiat Punto looks brilliant.
I'm gonna rub my nuts on it.
I did that.
Lovely.
His trousers fell down once again.
When did he pull them up?
During the pissing fiasco, I assume. His trousers fell down again, and he took a dive on the path of one of the houses. Don Simpson, the taxi driver, said, "As I turned into the street to pick up a fare, there was a gentleman in the road, obviously intoxicated. He dropped his trousers, and they fell to his ankles, as they do. He clambered onto the bonnet and started simulating sex."
It'd be weird if they floated up to his face.
It would be a bit weird. He just pulled them down and they started going up to his eyeballs. "These are my extendo pants.
Here's something you don't see every day.
Get ready, bonnet. I'm coming for you." It's just got a really big zipper in the middle. Oh, got it caught. So he clambered onto the bonnet and started simulating sex. His hips were moving back and forwards, as they do.
It's hypnotising. Can you look away?
It were like Shakira. So Don...
Only grosser.
So Don estimated he was about an 8 or a 9 on the piss scale.
Oh, he was definitely a 10. Gorgeous ass.
Took a few pictures for home. I'll call him when he gets out. Bruce was found guilty of jumping on the bonnet of a taxi with his trousers down and rubbing his genitals on the vehicle, simulating sexual intercourse, and committing a breach of the peace. However, he was not found guilty of committing an offence of public indecency by lowering his trousers and underwear, exposing his genitals, and committing a sex act. He will be probably sentenced on the 4th of March, so be on the lookout for that one. I might update us at a later date if I remember or care. Well, with that one, let's move on to our final section of the podcast. Today I fucked up.
Today I fucked up.
Welcome back to our final section of the podcast. If you're still
Oh,
alive,
I wondered where I was.
If you're still alive like me, barely, then welcome. I've gathered 4 stories from Today I Fucked Up for us to read. Howard, would you like to take it away with the first story?
I'll take it away.
Somewhere.
I'll take it somewhere.
You don't want to know where.
Today... I'm dying. Today I fucked up by making memes.
And dying.
And dying. My family loves to overshare. This lack of a filter sometimes has the tendency to get people into trouble because not all of the information is provided.
So they leave chunks out. I wonder who else does that.
Oh.
Maybe the news media.
Even when it's meant harmlessly.
Could have told us about that, Cubs. Come on, bro.
My parents are a bit older. Prime, okay, but boomer age.
Hell fucking yeah.
I was talking to my dad, the boomer, the other day on the phone because his birthday dinner was a few days later.
I hope he doesn't mean the boomer out of Left 4 Dead, because that's a pretty big insult, bro.
No, he means the kind that doesn't believe in climate change.
Oh.
Oh my God, I just spotted. Hold your horses, Alex. Calm your tits.
I'm calm!
I asked how Mom was doing, and he goes on to tell me a story about how my mom and aunt, Karen, were at the store, and the cashier made a mistake.
Oh!
God,
Oh,
it's
brilliant.
tasty.
Oh, I love this delectable food.
My aunt went after the cashier and asked to see the manager. My mum was mortified because my aunt's name's Karen. Mom,
The true gemstone. Karen.
my mum was mortified and tried to calm her down, but she wasn't having it.
She pulled out her flaming sword and sliced the cashier in half.
I then mentioned to my dad that's such a Karen thing, and he goes on to say, "Yeah, your aunt does that a lot." I tell him, that's the funny part. The Karen meme is a real thing. It's when an entitled, typically white woman gets angry at the smallest mistake and asks for thine manager.
Is that a smudge on the wall? I can't ski here.
I didn't see the manager!
That purse is... it's been out for 40 minutes. I'll give you 300.
My dad found this hilarious, and I will explain in more detail. I sent him a few links to sites explaining it online. Why don't you just send him some memes?
I think that may be the material he is sending.
He finds all of this hilarious, and she even has the Karen hairstyle.
Oh, fuck. She is bringing the triangle together. She's angry white and has the hairstyle. It is all coming together.
This sends him down the Google Images rabbit hole, and the next few days he sends me random memes of Karens doing Karen stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Your aunt did this week.
Like,
Or I think this one was about your aunt.
The dad's in on it. That's awesome.
This leads up to his birthday dinner with the extended family.
Uh-oh, Karen's going to be there. Uh-oh.
Being a Karen,
She's got an invite.
she's going to need to see the manager.
She is going to need to see at least one.
She's talking to the kid. I'm going to need to see your manager. Dad!
Well...
You're the manager.
I'm sorry, we haven't taken any orders yet. The manager, please!
My dad's birthday dinner is going well. Everyone's having a good time.
Except Karen.
Good food and good drinks.
Except Karen's.
Suddenly,
Oh.
my aunt, sitting a few seats down from me, leans forward and loudly shouts down the table.
I am already having heart palpitations.
Hi, my name. What's this whole thing about making a meme about me?
Oh my god, she's calling him out at dinner. This is going to be a Mortal Kombat showdown.
I respond, huh? And she tells me Dad sent her all these memes about things she's done.
Dad is a snitch. This dad is a snitch.
He didn't give her the context that is the generic meme from the internet and what it's about. Now, my aunt thinks I made all these memes about her real-life events. No, it's just a coincidence,
Yeah, there's
Karen.
a lot of you. There's probably another one at another table asking the same question.
Literally at that moment, someone stands up and says, I need to see the manager.
No, I need
And then
to
she
see
just
the
turns.
manager.
She just turns around and goes, Karen, Karen.
Then they start making out at dinner.
No, do go on.
And then the manager comes out and they beat him up together as a divine force.
I'm interested in this anime and I'd like to purchase it. At this point, the entire family thinks I've created this meme on the internet about my aunt's antics in public. There's a back and forth discussion about it being really rude of me.
How dare you steal people's content?
She's pulling a Karen and starts chewing me out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at my dad like, what the fuck? Back me up here.
Don't look your dad in the eyes while you're getting eaten out.
Never look at your dad in the eyes. My dad finally steps in to say that it's just a random viral internet thing and that I didn't make it up behind my aunt's back. Even after explaining, she's a bit irritated. It is apparent that she is embarrassed that she is such a Karen.
She has killed at least 3 or 4 people at this point, and I am scared to chew.
She's embarrassed she couldn't tell the difference between the stories online and her own encounters.
That is a very Karen thing to do, I think. So, let's move on to our next story. Today I fucked up by delivering pizza. I used to deliver pizza, so you don't anymore. I
delivered pizza today, but I'm not a pizza delivery man. Not anymore.
I found it somewhere. I used to deliver pizza. It was actually the most fun job I've ever had. I am usually really good with people, but I delivered pizza to
I'm just terrible with pizza.
Yeah, I just hate. Yeah, here's your pizza, dude. Just smashes it in his face. Looking good. I delivered pizza to a house that I have done 1,000,000 times. As I walk up to the door, all I can smell is pot and can hear loud music. I figured it was a party. I knocked, and there was no answer. I knocked louder. This massive dude with hair down to his ass answered and yells at me for knocking too loud. I apologized and went on my way. I took the pizza with me.
Oh,
no.
So he didn't want the pizza?
No, he didn't. He took the pizza.
Well, then, knocking too loud. So you didn't hear me.
Yeah. I'll just leave it on the porch for 3 weeks. Next weekend, I see the same address come up, but Unit B. It was a 4-plex type thing, so there's like four blocks. So I assume A, B, C, D.
2 downstairs, 2 upstairs. I think.
I walk down the concrete steps to Unit B and knock on the door. This tall, bald dude answered. I asked him if he knew the guy upstairs and told him that asshole upstairs yelled at me for knocking too loud. He looked at me puzzled. He looked at me puzzled and says, I know, that was me. I bought this 4-plex. The dude shaved his head from hair to his ass to bald. I didn't recognize him at all. I instantly died on the inside. I apologized and went on my way. Next weekend, same address. Remember those concrete steps I mentioned? Well, I walked down them. The loop on the pizza bag got hooked on on his mailbox and was hung on the fence. It ripped the mailbox clear off the fence and flung it down the stairs. It actually bounced off his door when it landed. He opened the door.
Don't knock so loud.
Jesus Christ, I could barely hear you. He opened the door to see me looking like a deer in the headlights, frantically pointing it at this mailbox, which was bent and twisted now. How fucking strong is this guy? And he was like Superman. It just went through his door and through the wall. And trying to explain that I really didn't mean to do it. I got the fuck out as quick as I could. He just threw the pizza from the top of the stairs. Next weekend. Oh no. Same address. I delivered. Does no one else work at this place? Does no one else deliver pizza?
Can someone else go?
Come on,
I killed his letterbox.
He'd kill me. I delivered his pizza successfully this time. After he paid, I nervously said, "Hey, I didn't even insult you or wreck your property this time." He laughed, said, "Good job," and handed me a $5 tip.
That was quick thinking on his part.
That was the last time I ever saw the dude. Because I killed him with his mailbox. I kept it. And that is the end of the story. That is a nice one.
Today, I fucked up by going to a wedding. I meant to say going, not owing, but I've got a cold.
Owning a wedding.
Today I fucked up by going to a wedding.
Yes. Cannot relate.
I was at one of my best friend's weddings. The bride, my friend, is a diabetic, and forgot her insulin when we went to the church, so we're really getting straight into this. So technically, diabetes is the villain of this story.
So I force-fed her pizza.
It's all in your mind.
Just sit back and relax. Oh.
No problem. I volunteered to go back to the house and pick it up. I like a mission.
Fuck yeah. She took a dual akimbo pistols.
I'm going to go all the way to that house and I'm going to get that insulin.
And killed at least 4 grooms. At least.
After a morning of bridal stuff, my adrenal glands were more than happy to kick some dust off.
Oh, fuck yeah. She's ready to go.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to walk all the way down this street.
And fuck that insulin up.
Oh. The bride says the back door is unlocked, so I dash back to her house. Drifting.
I was going to say, a bit forward on your wedding day.
Drifting the corners, in my mind, finding the apex in the road. The corner door, the back door is not unlocked. No doors are open.
She lied to me.
She just didn't want me at her wedding.
So I said, fuck her.
But I am not taking the L on this.
Oh, she is an army veteran.
All of us bridesmaids had gotten ready at her house earlier, and one of the other bridesmaids was leaning out her window on the second floor smoking. Why wasn't she at the wedding?
She's the isolated type.
I gaze up at her
The
window.
artist.
I'm the artist.
What do you want?
I cannot be on time to a wedding.
This is not my funeral. I
must
mean
be
the
late.
wedding.
I gaze up at her window, praying that it's still unlocked. I know this house. I went to high school with the bride, snuck in and out of that window onto the roof, and clambered down the tree beside the house many times.
I'm also Spider-Man. Did I mention?
Spider-Man. Only this time, I'm in a strapless tight mermaid-style dress. So easy.
We're on a boat.
Driving a stick in this constricting skirt was a challenge enough. There is no way on God's green earth that I'm going to climb a tree.
Oh, wimp.
It's barely above freezing, but this is DEFCON 2 situation. I'm in the backyard. There is only one house that can see me. I accept the crazy low odds that the grandparents that live next door will notice me.
Oh my god, did she strip off the dress and go up the fucking tree? Fuck yeah! This is resourceful as fuck. This is MacGyver level shit.
Decidedly an incorrect assumption because apparently Gramps has assigned himself the position of Overwatch.
I see all the women come through.
I love video games.
I love women who can climb.
I kick off my heels, sling off my jacket, it's barely above freezing, and toss the Morticia Adams-style bridesmaid dress over the fence.
Why did she not just call to her friend who had the cigarette? If you could see her,
just throw some bricks at the window.
you could have just throw some bricks.
And by bricks, I
through
mean like
the window.
whole bricks. Just
We mean the bride. Just throw the bride through the window.
I pat my old friend, the tree, and begin to climb.
You're okay, girl.
Yeah. One more time.
I'm sure I sloth climbed it, but the adrenaline pulsing through my veins has convinced me that I'm a ninja warrior and shit.
I fell 30 foot and died.
The window is unlocked. Hoorah! Once I open it, I ungracefully fall into the room from the roof.
And break 13 bones.
Oh.
But it's worth it.
I don't care because the distinctly male movie announcer voice in my head is sexily broadcasting the trailer for my movie that I'm acting at.
Fuck yeah.
The crowd cheers when my icicle toes hit the hardwood floors. I'm killing it.
I've killed the bitch.
Oh, shit.
She was actually at that window and she just dived and crushed her. Oh.
The room looks like a girl bomb exploded. Curlers, hair dryers, and makeup bags, clothes all over every square inch of the carpet.
It was like a minefield.
I super kung fu hop over the piles to the dresser, where she said her insulin bag would be.
This is like a movie.
It's not there!
Oh, fuck! Plot twist, she's the villain.
Plot twist, she had it the whole time.
Fuck.
I rifle through the piles, shaking like a scared dog from the cold. Nope, to the bathroom. Nope, a massive rock drops into my stomach when I can't find her insulin. The clock is ticking. I launch down the stairs, now at a time, and run through the house as my eyes scan every surface.
She's going to die, Mr. President.
This is an emergency.
As she clambered through every room, she saw nothing. Her heart was full with dread. And
In
then
a
she
world without insulin, one woman
needs insulin. I found it on the kitchen counter, a full floor away from where she thought she had left it. Boyo!
Oh.
I'm back in the game. I shotgun pump my arm and grab the bank.
Yes. She
Oh,
is a true
this thing's
hero.
loaded.
Oh, sorry, Grandpa.
I make sure I can lock the kitchen door from the inside. I mentally check. Yep. I left all of my stuff outside. I step into the garage, shutting the door behind me. As I'm gibbling the locked door knob.
As I'm jiggling my nibbling.
As I'm jiggling the locked door knob, I hear the whoop whoop of a police car. That's the sound of the police. I slowly turn. You can't do that and not say that.
I slowly turn, and there he is, shooting me dead.
I slowly turn and do some weird half raise of my hands. There are 2 cops in the driveway.
Oh my god, really? Oh, I thought this might have been the grandpa playing GTA. I thought that was right.
All official and stern looking and shit.
And pixelated.
In a split second, I flash on images. I'm in the back of a police car. Oh, she's editing the movie now in her head. So like, wipe. I'm in the back of a police car. Jesus, how did I get here? Handcuffed.
I blacked out.
Handcuffed. Search warrants are getting issued. I see the courtroom.
Search for what? You've got her.
She's seeing flash. I think this person might be a bit crazy. She's just like, she's seeing all the scenarios of things going wrong, so she's seeing search warrants getting issued.
Oh.
She's seeing the courtroom, a stern judge with an unforgiving jury, and in a moment of catastrophic cognitive dissonance, I swear that I heard my brain misfire.
I think I heard it as well. Jesus Christ.
The only thing that zaps me back to reality is the kid. You not. My boobs are frozen into ice cones. I'm going to have the pleasure of explaining this shit show to the officers.
Oh my god. Is she naked?
While wearing nothing but my fancy thong and lacy strapless bra, because genius me didn't want the panty lines.
Oh my. The panty lines will be the downfall of all of us.
And my hot ass guy will be wearing a tux at the wedding. Enough said.
Shit. Was this insulin worth it?
Well, someone could die.
She could probably wait.
I could have vaporized in the spot from humiliation. As the officers approached me, I don't even know what I said. I virtually shoved the bag of insulin at the older cop and vomited out the preposterous details of this Texas-sized oof I'd landed myself and my skivvies in. Coming out of a house,
she's just hysterically screaming. She thinks she's being
I got
elephant.
I did a leg and she will not die. Ah, you're gonna kill her.
She just bolts off past them.
All while coming out of the house that I technically broke into.
Yeah, you technically climbed through the window, knew that it would be unlocked because you are a serial thief, and got cased the joint for insulin. It is expensive. In America,
it is in America, yeah.
So if it is America, she might be casing the joint for insulin. You could probably sell that for more,
yeah,
somewhere. Not that
you could.
should.
Well, when it's like $600 to $800,
it's expensive. It's like
it's actually something that would be considered robbing in a house robbery. I can guarantee you.
It's like gold.
Disgusting as that is. They try to keep a straight face, but then start to laugh. It begins as a small, embarrassed chuckle, but then it takes on a life of its own, commandeering all of my self-control. And flinging it to the icy winds with the ashes of my dignity. I howl, tears running down my face, and I shoot strangled inhuman sounds at them.
Oh god, she strangled one of them.
I can imagine no sound other than... I can make no sound other than drawn out vowels. God, it's embarrassing.
It's the sound of the police.
The cops are trying to ask me questions, and instead they are getting Muttley the dog. All I can do is wheeze and tear and shake from the cold.
She tore in half.
Oh, tear, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna...
Wheeze or tear or shake from the cold.
God, I could just imagine she just getting... I can explain...
I'm actually a man.
I'm actually an insect.
Finally, I beg them to let me put my clothes on.
No!
This is amazing.
You're coming with me.
One gallantly swings his arm to tell me to proceed to the backyard to recover my assortment of clothing, cringily clinging to the fence. They are gentlemen about this, as I jump and shimmy into this hell contraption of a bridesmaid dress. They ask me if there is anyone else that I can call from the family to confirm the story.
No, because the one I got it for is already dead. Because she was about to die before you cops stopped her.
I call the bride, but she doesn't pick up.
Oh, she's dead!
It's all your fault!
Oh, yeah!
I call the bride's mom. She doesn't pick up. Oh, God, she took everyone.
Oh, God, she killed the mom as well. It was a shared insulin pack. It was a family pack of insulin. And they're all dead.
I call the love of my life, and he picks up on the first ring. God, I love that man.
He picks up and she goes, "Oh," and then hangs up.
It's you. He doesn't know why I left the church, but immediately goes in to solve this shit mode fast. He gets the bride's dad, and it gets sorted. My guy is waiting in the parking lot when I pull up. Panic rolls across his face when he sees me, thinking I've been crying. I laugh the rest of my makeup off with him and then tell him the story. We're getting married soon, and I think the bride should have to perform the commensurate task to climbing the tree in freezing weather in her underwear.
Oh, so she's got to do the challenge now, but she's got to put the dress on the side and also call the cops.
Yes, someone's got to call the cops on purpose. I'm definitely taking suggestions. This all happened in a decently small town. The story has ripped through the gossip mill like the Taco Bell through my colon.
Fucking hell.
My oldest brother is apparently friends with the young cop that I could never make myself look in the eye. Yep, never living this down, and I'm never more grateful to have moved away. Also, LPT?
Life pro tip.
I'm an idiot. So maybe you all know this, but don't hand your phone to the police. Put the call on speaker or show them the text from your hand. Do not physically place your property in the care of the police. Advice from a law student who was more than happy to lecture me for 20 minutes at the reception. That story could have ended like 2 paragraphs ago.
Probably, yeah. That was very wordy. But I think to commiserate the feat that she did, I think what they need to do is hide the insulin and then get the friend to do the thing, and she has to find it before it's too late. They lock all the doors.
We've hidden this insulin inside this giant pile of sugar.
Have fun.
Nom nom.
Delicious. Alright, talking about delicious, let's talk about our last fuck up. Today I fucked up by going to a national park. I was 12. Picture what I would look like if Wednesday Addams really was genuinely dying to get into the Babysitters Club. I hope that reference makes sense to somebody.
I know Wednesday Addams because it's the Addams Family, played by Christina Ricci, but I never watched the Babysitters Club, so I don't know.
So maybe just a happier version of that? Yep, that's me. Having my second period ever, complete with Satan's tsunami of pain and fuckery happening to my insides. My family decided this is when we were going to visit Mammoth Cave National Park. I'm still in the stage when I'm embarrassed by my periods / sure that everyone everywhere just knows it's Shark Week for me.
Shark Week.
Mackie Mac
It's
Week.
Mackie Shark Week.
Mackie. I fought a shark.
Oh, shark.
We're travelling light by my parents' incessants, so when I need a pad, it's off to hassle Dad to dig one out of his fanny pack and make the mortified trek to the bathroom. That's its own tween drama. Or trauma, sorry. Drama/trauma. We're taking the cave tour, and in one of those really tight places with a horrible name like Fat Man's Death, and all hell is brewing in my gut. Audible growling like hellhounds begging to be freed. Loud enough for people next to me to get that shifty-eyed what the fuck look.
The fuck?
At the time, I'm 10'11". No, I'm joking. I'm 5'11". Maybe 100 pounds, and all that stands between the world and the nuclear bomb in my gut is clench. The clench. Fuck. It's breached! I clenched, you guys. I clenched through so much of the longest cave system in the world. Google it. And I just couldn't fucking do it anymore. I fell victim to the oldest myth we tell ourselves. Just let a little out. Just a little, and I'll feel so much better. That is, by the way, a lie. Do not let a little out anyway.
Never let a little out of anything.
Never let a little out, let out a lot. So I did. And I didn't. I cracked the door, but the demons escaped. What came out was the most inexplicably silent fart, accompanied by the most rancid smell I've ever smelt. The kind that immediately makes you think it couldn't possibly have come from your own body. Or any living body.
Oh, that is dead.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Something died.
Oh, God.
My soul.
It was me.
Andrew.
Andrew, put it away. Immediately, there was shuffling as it hit the polite people around me, and they tried to avoid overly embarrassing the green-skinned little girl with the demon gut it had to have come from. This is where my mother comes into play. There's one thing you must know about my mother. Her name is Karen. Legend has it, she is the original. If I had a dime for every manager spoken to while her family sat red-faced, pleading, apologizing with their eyes, blink twice for help, I'd be a Scrooge McDuck rich. So here we are, stewing in rancid hellfire corpse-level stank, and my mother asks the poor teenager tour guide, not God, teenager
You
God,
there, God. I'd like to see the manager.
give me the gun, one must die, who is trying not to gag after the sulfur deposit. Oh, she said, she said, are there sulfur deposits down here? I smell sulfur. Silence. A few discreet glances at the miserable little girl from polite strangers. No, ma'am. No sulfur in this part of the cave system. My mother is never wrong. Not even when she's wrong. She insists, that can't be right. I smell sulfur. No, ma'am.
I clearly smell eggs.
No, ma'am. No sulfur. Or I'd be dead.
More dead than my soul is.
Oh, minimum wage. If there was a manager nearby, we'd have already been speaking to them.
Ma'am, we're 2 miles underground. The manager is very far away.
Also, I have pepper spray. Stay back. She's getting very upset because she's obviously right. She obviously smells sulfur, and this ridiculous teenager doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. She grabbed him by the collar and chokeslammed him into a wall. No. The back and forth goes on forever. Her insistence that she's right keeps ratcheting up. That poor bastard. To his credit, he glanced at me. Help! and did the kindest thing and kept me from just completely shriveling up and dying on the spot. He plastered a queasy grin on his face and said, you know what, ma'am? Maybe there is sulfur down here. I'm going to double check on that as soon as we get back. Maybe I'll learn something new today. The cringe was so full on, I don't remember anything else about that day. It's a blank. On that fateful day, I learned never to trust a fart. That cringe that deep in the early tweens leaves a little scar tissue on your soul. And that the kindness of strangers is a very real thing. Yay to Sulphur Boy, he saved the day.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, Sulphur Boy. Oh, Harry's been sniffing sulphur. He's dying. So, that will do it for this episode. I want to thank you, everyone, for listening. You can check all our links at cluelessinter.net to any of these stories. You can follow us at cluelessnet. You can email us any of the answers or questions or stories or anything to clueless at...
anything, just anything.
Not anything, let me just preference that. Not anything.
Almost anything.
Do it. So you can email us at podcast@cluelessinter.net. I'll be streaming on Sundays over at twitch.tv/cluelessinternet. I'll be doing that on Sundays between 6 and 7. I'll start at 6 and 7, between 6 and 7 p.m. GMT.
That was clear.
That was, yeah. Between 6 and 7 p.m. GMT, I'll be streaming on twitch.tv/cluelessinternet.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And goodbye.
Goodbye. I love you.
I don't.
Oh.
I just love making lots of noise.
Who's been a stinker today? Hey? Look at me. Who's been a stinker?
No, he probably just wanted a bit of attention. Bless him. Outside shit.
Well, he's getting it now, ain't you? Hey?
But when will the next time be? No one knows. Torture.
No one can know I have spoken, Uncat.
Bye.
Oh God, he's running away.
I am trapped.
Right.
Do you want to try outside again? Do I ever?
Come on then.
It's probably summer now, right?
It's gotta be.
It's been long enough. It's been like ages.
Come on then.
I'm trapped. Do this way, buddy. There you go. Yeah, I think he thought he was trapped. There you go.
Try it one more time.
Ah, it's horrible. Oh, something dropped a battery.